Hey everybody, welcome to the Ambitious Woman Lifestyle Podcast. We are your hosts, Mignon
and Paige.
On today's episode, we'll talk about who is the Proverbs 31 woman and why we should all care to be like her. Let's dive in.
In the Bible, Proverbs 31 verse 10, it states, "A wife of noble character who can find, she is worth far more than rubies. Her husband has full confidence in her and lacks nothing of value. She brings him good, not harm, all the days of her life. She selects wool and flax and works with eager hands. She is like the merchant ships, bringing her food from afar. She gets up while it is still night. She provides food for her family and portions for her female servants. She considers a field and buys it. Out of her earnings, she plants a vineyard. She sets about her work vigorously. Her arms are strong for her task. She sees that her trading is profitable, and her lamp does not go out at night. In her hand she holds the distaff and grasps the spindle with her fingers. She opens her arms to the poor and extends her hands to the needy. When it snows, she has no fear for her household, for all of them are clothed in scarlet. She makes coverings for her bed. She is clothed in fine linen and purple. Her husband is respected at the city gate, where he takes his seat among the elders of the land. She makes linen garments and sells them, and supplies the merchants with sashes. She is clothed with strength and dignity. She can laugh at the days to come. She speaks with wisdom, and faithful instruction is on her tongue. She watches over the affairs of her household and does not eat the bread of idleness. Her children arise and call her blessed, her husband also, and he praises her. Many women do noble things, but you surpass them all. Charm is deceptive and beauty is fleeting, but a woman who fears the Lord is to be praised. Honor her for all that her hands have done, and let her works bring her praise at the city gate."
All right, so to break that down, the Proverbs 31 woman, why would we want to be like her? Because she is faithful and trustworthy. Her husband can trust her with his intimate thoughts. She makes her husband's life better than he's ever known. She is his peace and sanctuary. She searches for the best and works diligently. She travels. She's an early riser and knows how to delegate. She's a landowner, business owner, and knows how to run it. So she out here building empires and building a legacy. She is in good health. She's healthy and she's a hard worker. She has good business sense and does not rest until she has done all of her work for the day. She's also creative because she creates things. She's a giver and she's compassionate. She makes sure her family is well taken care of. She has many talents and uses them to benefit her family. She is wealthy and dresses nicely. Her husband has influence. She is creative and a salesperson. She walks with integrity and she knows her future is secure. She is wise and kind. She makes sure her family is well taken care of and isn't lazy. Who wouldn't want to be a Proverbs 31 woman? And I want to note this. Just because the Proverbs 31 woman had a husband, that's not to say that single women can't be a Proverbs 31 woman. You can still be a Proverbs 31 woman or have Proverbs 31 women qualities, just having the habits of a Proverbs 31 woman, which is in our terms an ambitious woman.
Yes, which at the end of the day, even without a man, you want to be pleasing in God's sight. And at the end of the day, that's what she was. She was pleasing in God's sight.
Right. She brought favor to her husband's life. And it says, he who finds a wife finds a good thing and finds favor with the Lord. And a revelation I got from reading a book recently, I read that a book called You Are Favor. In that, it says that we were favored before we met our husband. Because it says when a man finds a wife, he finds a good thing. So we were already good things before he found us. He didn't get favor until he found us. So we are the favor in his life. He who finds a wife finds a good thing and gains favor with the Lord. It's a book by Andrea Renee, and I read it, and that really opened up my eyes as a wife already. And I've told my husband that plenty of times that I am his good thing and he has okay.
Yes.
But he know. We've had several conversations about it. About how his life has drastically changed since we've met. And you know personally. Oh, for those who don't know, Paige is my cousin.
Hey y'all.
Paige is my blood first cousin. So she has seen my journey firsthand, and I've watched her journey firsthand. So we're family. So we know we can't lie and say this is what we are, and because then we're gonna be looking at each other like, no, you ain't, because I know your truth. So you know you getting the real deal with us because we know each other, and we're gonna help hold each other accountable on what we say because we know. So Paige knows my journey. She knew. To be honest, I was not always a Proverbs 31 wife. I was not always a Proverbs 31 woman. I had to go on a journey to find out how to be a Proverbs 31 woman, because I was more of the ambitious. I was more on the ambitious side. You can take out the am. I was more on that side than I was.
Yeah, but nobody comes out, being a Proverbs 31 woman, because it says that when you come to Christ, you are transformed and you're a new creature. So you have to turn away from your old self.
Yeah.
So that happens, and that's how I feel like that's your journey, your beginning journey of becoming a Proverbs 31 woman. We might have qualities of being a Proverbs 31 woman, but you got to have a special sauce.
Yeah, and that's Jesus. Hello. Yes, I totally agree. And that's exactly what I had to do. I had to go through the process of dying to self. I had to lay myself down and pick up this cross and be like, okay, God, I get rid of this personality, these hurts, these past, failures, and all these scars and these notions I have about men and hurts I have about men, and I lay them down at your feet. Because if I want to have a successful marriage, if I want to become this woman, because this woman got it all. Listen, she got money, power, respect. I like to dress nice too. Listen, so I wanted all that, but in order to become all of that, I had to become a new creature, and I had to let go of a lot of things. And the only way I was able to do that was to get my life right with Christ, was to delve into his word and read and see what it said, because I had to deal with anger. I had anger issues. I was violent. We ain't gonna skip. I was violent. I was very angry.
That's all right. You gotta speak your truth. You have to. The first step, as they say in those programs, is admitting admitting what the problem is. That was part of my problem. I also had issues with men, so I had to deal with that because I was very disrespectful to my husband in the beginning. And I feel like that's something that I still deal with, but I think that's something we'll talk about in a later episode.
About family dynamics.
Family dynamics and generational curses.
Yes, because I literally was talking to my husband. His name is Jose. We were literally talking about this yesterday, about how the women in our family were taught to be independent of men, and it was taught from a broken place. And so we carried that with us, and I had to let go of that. I had to heal from that broken place, because it was damaging our relationship, and it was damaging our marriage. We literally was just talking about this yesterday.
I'm still a work in progress, y'all.
And that's okay, as long as you know working at it. It takes time, because I'm not gonna lie, I'm still a work in progress. Hello.
And I think that's one thing we always have to keep in mind, because sometimes you feel like you mastered stuff, but you always have to go back and reread and, refresh.
Yes.
And it's always, like they say with the movies, you see something you didn't see before.
Exactly. Especially in the Word. Like, you can read the Word time and time again, and then there's something that stands out to you like, I ain't noticed that. But yes, I totally agree. Being a Proverbs 31 woman should be the goal, because not only did she live a great life, but she was happy. She wasn't stressed. She wasn't exhausted. It says she laughed. She didn't worry. She laughed.
She could laugh in the days to come.
Because she was already prepared. She had her stuff prepared and planned.
Yes.
You have to be intentional, because it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, and it's a standard to live up to. It's a high standard, and it'll take a lot of change in us as ambitious women to not push the Jezebel spirit, to not tap into the Jezebel spirit versus the Proverbs 31 spirit, because it's easy to do. It is easy, and we'll talk about that on upcoming episodes, because We hope you enjoyed today's episode. Don't forget to like, subscribe, leave us some feedback by rating and leaving a review. Follow us on Instagram at Ambitious Woman Lifestyle, and we'll catch you next week.